Hello, how you guys doing? Happy Sunday. Went to church this morning. My pastor was amazing. I shared a video earlier. I hope you guys watch it. Started a new series on the 10 Commandments. So good. You guys gotta watch it. But I wanted to talk about spiritual warfare and what we need to do to protect ourselves. So Ephesians 10:18, I'm reading it. We're going to discuss a little bit of what each part of the armor is. But it's so important that we take up our armor daily. Okay. So Ephesians 10:18. I will post it on top of the videos as always. So finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. He's always scheming against us. For our struggles are not against flesh and blood. That means our family, our friends, our loved ones, our enemies. It's not about flesh and blood. It's not about people. But against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms or heavenlies. And you see how the Bible breaks it down: rulers, authorities, powers, spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Remember, I told you guys it's like the devil has an army and they all have ranks. So it says therefore, and whenever there's a therefore in the Bible, you have to know what is there for. It says therefore put on the full armor of God, so when the day of evil comes, which is every day, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything to stand firm. Then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all these, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. And I just love the armor of God. I love the armor of God because you have to wear it every day. Every day the devil's scheming against you. It says so in the word. And every day as you get up and you take a shower and you're getting ready, just make believe that your today's clothes is like an armor of God. As you're doing, your hair or whatever, just remember that you have to protect your mind. It says take up. That means pick it up and put it on the helmet of salvation. You have to put on the helmet of salvation because you have to guard your thoughts. Everything that the devil is doing with his army of demons is trying to influence you to think bad things or to doubt yourself. And you need to protect yourself with each part of the armor of God. Each part is like a defensive weapon. And when it says that you have to stand firm, you have to make a decision. You have to make a choice decision. And then it says, stand firm with the belt of truth buckled around your waist. Back in the time of Jesus, they used to wear long robes. And they would have to wear a belt. So if in case they needed to climb or something like that, they would gird their long robe around their waist and then they would be freed. So you have to be ready. the belt makes you ready, and the belt also held all the parts of the armor, together. And it's like in a soldier's uniform, you always have to have a belt. So, the truth of the Word of God. Jesus said He is the truth and the light. So you need to be standing firm, knowing the truth of God. And then it talks about the breastplate of righteousness. Of course, during that time, they had to wear, protect their vital organs, which is your heart, your lungs. But you have to protect your heart, your emotions, everything that, your heart feels. We're such an emotional people, but God tells you need to protect your heart. So you need to do that with the breastplate of righteousness, and the righteousness comes from God. And then it says that you need to be fitted with readiness that comes from the gospel of peace, like your shoes. Be ready to go. Be ready for God. He wants us to be ready all the time and know the gospel of peace. We need to bring that peace to others. If you already have it, if you're a believer and you love God and He gives you that peace, and people see what is different about you, is that peace that He gives us, that internal peace. Then He says, take up the shield of faith. And they say the shield, and I've seen many Roman movies, it's better with another person. Like the shields, they used to be kind of like a huge door, and they made it out of wood and leather, and they would wet it so they would combat the fiery darts of the enemies. And Jesus says that Satan is always sending us fiery darts, flaming darts that can harm us. But if we have the shield of faith and we're behind that, protecting each other, and with another believer who also has a shield of faith, 2 are better than 1, and 3 is even better. So God always wants us to be in community with other believers, because we think alike, we can pray, we can intercede for the ones that are non-believers to help them get to the light. So the shield of faith is very important. That will help you extinguish the flaming arrows of the evil one. And then he says again, take up the helmet of salvation, which I told you earlier, because everything that the enemy does is trying to lie to us and whisper things to us. And he uses his demon army against us to demonize us, or to corrupt us, or to, influence us. Everybody talks about influencers, and I'm hoping to be a good influencer in Facebook, but you see all these kids being influencers and people follow them because they're doing silly things out there, and people just get influenced. So you guys remember that ice bucket? It was everybody was doing the ice bucket, and everybody would be on Facebook, and they would just throw a whole bunch of ice on your head, and that was someone starting it, and then people just keep doing it and not doing it and doing it. Hopefully with these videos it will be like that, influenced in a good way, because what did that do? I don't even know. I don't like ice, and I never did it, so I don't like to follow others too much, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's be influencers for the right thing. Let's become influencers for the right thing, not silly things. That's the world. That's what Satan does. He wants you to just waste time on silly stuff that is not going to help anyone. And then he tells us to take the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. And that is when we can fight with the Word of God. Because many times Jesus said to Satan when he was being tempted, it is written, it is written, it is written. Always he said that to him. Because if we know the Word of God, then we will be able to, stand firm in this fights that we're doing all the time. And the last but best is to pray in the Spirit. Pray in the Spirit, my friends, on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. So prayer goes everywhere, and we can pray, intercede, pray for our families, pray for our loved ones, pray for our enemies, pray for our county, state, country, world, nations. Like, we can influence so much by praying. And I know prayer is powerful, and prayer works, and prayer heals. So whenever you're in doubt of any of this, go to Ephesians 6:10-18. Have God talk to you. He will talk to you like he talks to me, and then just become an amazing warrior, soldier for God's army. I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you like this, and God bless you.